What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Balance Business Dad. I'm your host, Coach Dustin. With me, as always, the seasoned, the distinguished Mr. RJ Campbell. RJ, how are we doing today?
We are doing very well.
Awesome.
It's a good day.
Yeah, it's a great day. We're actually coming right off of the Thanksgiving holiday. So much to be thankful for. I know we had a great time with family and things like that. How was yours?
Sorry, guys. I was adjusting volume there. There's a little delay in my answer. I would edit that out, but I can't edit that out now because I spoke about it. It was a good holiday.
Yeah.
Pretty mellow.
Yeah.
Not too bad, but lots of family.
Good. So, yeah. What have you been learning? What did you learn since the last holiday?
Yeah, I don't know.
Nothing?
Nah, probably nothing.
We got to work on
Finished another book, starting another book.
Nice. Which one?
Starting or finished?
Both?
I have no idea. I wonder what the one is I just finished. It's a good question. I know the one I'm getting ready to start, The Power of One More.
By Ed Mylett. Yes, that's actually the Dad Up Council that we have, the mastermind. We are doing a book and, sometimes a month, 6 weeks, however long it takes us to get through it. And that's the one we're starting on. So that's exciting. I love that book. I've read it. We got to see Ed speak actually last year. So that's going to be a good one.
Yep.
I just finished personally 2 Chairs, which guys, go out and get it. Probably the best book I've ever listened to. And I will give that book out. And I've never given out a book before.
He was overwhelmed by this book.
Yeah.
It's a great book.
Yeah.
Great book about having a conversation with God, right?
Daily.
The daily conversation.
It's a designated time and spot where you meet with God as you would any other mentor or coach you have. Why wouldn't you get the answers from the ultimate mentor?
And that's the idea behind 2 Chairs.
Yeah.
One for you, one for God.
Yeah. It's great. So check that book out. Today, it's kind of funny because I think RJ is going to come off very old and grouchy on this one.
I'm going to tone it down because I've already jumped off of this. I've gently stepped off at my age of this soapbox.
And yet, I think this soapbox needs to be shared because it's so the truth. If you follow me at all, I actually posted a live video about this on Facebook, kind of my confession and a commitment around it. So we're just going to jump right into it. But this episode is work, because that's what it takes, to have the thriving business that doesn't control us, to have that passionate marriage, to have kids that adore you, to be healthier physically and mentally, to have better relationships, to grow deeper in your faith. There's one ingredient that goes in all of that.
4-letter word.
Work. Just work.
Just work. So now people want to know where the soapbox came from.
Absolutely. So let's we have to help him up a step because he's a little older than we are, but let's help him up that step. And RJ, what you got?
I'm going to go a lot easier because once you've ranted on it once, it's hard to recreate a rant. This all came about because of Dustin and I being around the real estate world, the real estate investors. And all we hear, everybody wants to get into it because they want financial freedom. I want financial freedom. But then when you talk to people, or you listen to them, I should say, really what a lot of it means is they don't want to work.
Right.
I want to have 50 rental properties. So I have financial freedom. I don't have to go into work. I can get away from the man. I don't have to work.
Yeah.
Damn, you've got 50 rental properties. You're doing work.
Yeah.
Besides collecting rent, hoping they pay, which they do if you have good tenants, service calls, managing somebody that's doing all that service. Guess what? You just built a company and now you have a job.
Yeah.
So that was that is the toned down version of my rant from the other day when I was like, man, I am tired. Oh, here it goes. I am tired of seeing all of these, mainly guys, I'll just say guys, on Instagram and on Facebook, pushing their programs where the underlying thought on all those programs is how to never have to work to have all this money. And maybe I'm just reading that into it more than not, but it just was getting the point. It's like, this is driving me nuts. If you want money, you want success, you want the good life, gotta freaking work.
Yeah.
Henry Ford didn't just say, I'm not going to work, but I think I'm going to build a giant motor company to make cars, but I don't want to work.
Yeah. So there's a couple things I think I would say to that is, yes, I believe that there's so many gurus out there selling this selling that success doesn't take work and that it's easy, and that's the reality. And it's interesting because I know a lot of those gurus. We kind of run in the same space, and they're working their asses off to act like they're not working.
Right.
So they're putting in the work because they are successful, and that's where success comes from. Now, speaking of Henry Ford, now obviously we don't get to know him yet.
I was close.
I believe, we have a really good friend. He runs the Inner Wealth, or what is it, Love, Lead, Laugh podcast, Mike Kitco.
It's kind of close to the name.
Yeah, we'll put it in the notes.
Lead, profit, play, something like that.
But what he always say, he talks about, I'm not a hustle whore, which I agree with it. I am not promoting that you have to go work 100 hours, right, in your job and in your business, right? Obviously, we're called the Balanced Business Dad, but having that purposeful time at home is work as well, right? So you're working on it. It might not be work, but you're working on it. You're working to be better. You're working to have that better relationship with God. So again, it's not work, it's working to have the things you want.
I agree.
Yeah.
Funny, it's a comment my wife made, within the last year, now that I don't work for the man, so not into a corporate job, but have different companies. And she made the comment, man, I think you're working harder now than you did in a lot of the years.
Absolutely.
I said, I know, but I don't come home pissed off and want to kick the dog, which I wouldn't. We don't even have one. That was just an expression. I think I've used it before. No letters, please. So it's still work. We work, but now you work, it's a little more fun. Work with purpose, because it's something you want to do for yourself. So really, it was just a tweak of mine. So I'm like, man, these guys all make these programs sound like sign up, take my coaching course, get into whatever business. For me, I see more of them that are real estate related because that's what we click on. I'm like, it's really not that easy to make a lot of money doing this if you're not willing to work.
And I think that's where, and you've heard me say it before, it's simple. It's not easy. Losing weight is simple. You eat less calories, or burn more calories than you eat.
Simple,
right? It's not easy, right? Working for the success you want is how you have it. And the cool part about this is when you work for something and you give it your all and you leave nothing left in the tank, success feels so much greater.
Absolutely.
So much greater. And I think that's what, if you saw that video I did, I was confessing that I felt fallen into that trap, and that my commitment was, I've talked to and I coach a lot of people, the Balanced Business Dad, we have the mastermind on everything like that. But my commitment to you is to show you that it's not all easy, that it does take work. But if you do the work to have the things the Balanced Business Dad wants to have, the things I listed out before, and you put that work in, purposeful work, you will get those things.
Yep.
And I think that's the big part right there, is we have to lean into this and we have to work.
Yeah, this all came about from a video that I saw, probably on Instagram. Some curmudgeon-y old guy, older than me, talking about work-life balance. Now, he was going the exact opposite direction and that's what we mentioned, Henry Ford. I don't remember all the people he was mentioning, but he said, hey, everybody's worrying about this balance. Do you think Henry Ford, Steve Jobs, he went down the list of the uber successful people that have built empires of business. Do you think balance was all they thought about? They thought about work, getting the work done. Now, when Dustin and I talked about that, it was like, yeah, but did they know their kids?
Right.
I don't know, but maybe not. I have no idea.
Well, the story about Steve Jobs, we've heard he didn't for a long time.
Because it was all work.
Yeah, it was all work.
So we're definitely not promoting that.
No.
It's still about the balance. It's about working in each of the 6 pillars.
Correct.
It's all work.
Yeah.
Right now, I'd have to say of mine, and for the last few months, has been the faith pillar. Everything we always, maybe it's not for everybody, always has been for me, that I ebb and flow on how much time I spend on my faith, and then I'll kind of slack off, and not slack off to where I'm not involved at all. But I kind of then get back in, and like right now, I'm really all in. Like I said, reading the Bible in a year, Bible studies, signed up for another men's group that meets every month, and just really, really into it. Yeah. There's work going on there. I am working on it, but I am thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah.
But I'm spending more than an hour a day
Mm.
on it, but that's not work. My wife thinks it's funny. That's what I'm doing in the morning. She'll be like, oh, doing your Bible stuff? I'm like, you betcha.
Yeah.
It's not work. Sometimes it would feel like work. Right now, it doesn't feel like work because I'm in.
It's not work, but it's working.
Yeah, working on it.
It's
Good.
not work, but it's working. And I think that's a big thing that should be the title of this episode, RJ. It's working, not work. Right?
That's good.
But because you're working on something. This freedom that people talk about, financial freedom. I know quite a few people who are financially free.
Mm-hmm.
And they work really hard to be financially free.
Yeah, people we know in this real estate world.
Yeah. Out in any industry, I know other people like that. But they work really hard to be financially free. I think financially free means options.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right? It's all about what we talked about before. It's that flexibility. They have that. Right? They're not clocking in, they're not clocking out, but that doesn't mean they're not working. And I think that's one of these messages that we want to make sure that we're portraying as we want to help all of the business dads out there. The end of the road is not, I'm not working anymore.
Right.
Right? It might be to get to this level where I don't have to spend 90 hours a week. I'm fine with that. I actually don't want you to be spending 90 hours a week on your job. I want you to be working on all the pillars, right? And when you're working on the pillars, that's when you're present. And that's where it is. We kind of are winging this episode. It was just something that's been on our hearts. But if you are working, you have to be present. And we've talked about before, it's balance equals present in the pillar that you need to be in. So
yeah, because there's a big difference between being at work. Oh, I'm going to work.
Right.
And working.
Correct.
Never thought of it that way.
Yeah, but that's what it is.
Yeah, you can go and clock in at work. Might not be working, but it's that conscious effort to be present, and I'm working, getting shit done.
Working. That's the answer.
And it's hard.
But that's how we stay present in that pillar. When I want to give time and effort to the fatherhood pillar, that is not me sitting there on my phone while they're watching TV. Because I'm not working on it at that point. Yet when I'm doing that, I'm having conversations and things like that with my children. That's working in that fatherhood pillar.
Hard work.
Yeah. So this is going to be a really short episode. I honestly don't think we can beat this horse any longer. But just know that this all takes work. The stuff that you want, the things that you want, go out and work for it. And the things that you don't have right now, and you keep on saying someday, I want 2024 to look like this, whatever that may be, ask yourself, are you working that right now? Because I bet if it's something that you're wanting and you don't have yet, I'm going to take a stab in the dark and say you're not working on it. Period.
A line my older son used on me just months ago. Good men do hard stuff.
Yeah.
And we all want to be good men. That is the whole idea of this movement, for us to be good, better men. And sometimes that requires hard stuff. And sometimes that hard stuff is not unenjoyable.
Yeah.
It's just work.
Absolutely. Right. It can be a passion. It's working.
It's working.
Yeah. So that's what we have today, guys. Make it a great day. Thank you so much for always tuning in. You know, I would love for you to share this podcast with other business dads out there, right? You know, that's how we get this message out there. That's how we get this movement off the ground. You can always join the conversation. Go to dadupgroup.com. That'll link you right into our Facebook page to join this conversation, because that's where, you know, we do life together, because we don't succeed alone. That's all I got.
I have one more.
Oh,
To the hundreds of guys that are out there, share this.
Yeah.
Dustin mentioned that. You're listening on your phone right now. If you're not, it's in your pocket. If you're enjoying the podcast, if you think this is something that's good and you know another guy that could benefit from listening to it, take out your phone and share it.
Yeah.
Send it to him. I challenge you. It's my weekly challenge. Not that we have one every week, but we're just going to name it that this week and do it once. So that's the weekly challenge. If you are enjoying this podcast, send it to a dude.
Yeah.
All right.
Show them that you care. We'll see you next week.
Is that it?
Yep. That's it.
We're out.